It's weird hanging out with you again.
I know. I'm glad we are, though.
It was nice that you sent me actual letters. It's more than any of my other friends have done. And you even wrote on that cool parchment paper. It's so Max.
So pretentious. But I love writing on it like an English poet. You deserve the best stationery.
Here we are again.
Here we are again. Episode 4.
If you're unfamiliar with our Life is Strange Just Playeds, Huber and I go full spoilers,
Yeah.
no holding back.
No holds barred. It's more of a just completed rather than a just played.
Yeah, because each episode's about 2 hours.
This one was long.
Yeah.
This one felt really long. I just played all day in the office to beat it.
Yeah, and
It's like 5 or 6 hours.
it requires more of you than other episodes.
Yeah.
We just played episode 4, The Dark Room.
Mm-hmm.
The last episode, 3, Chaos Theory, ended on a bananas note.
Yeah, that was nuts.
If you'll recap it for us.
Yeah, episode 3 ended with Max going into an alternate reality where Chloe was paralyzed. Her dad was alive, but she was paralyzed, and it ended right there.
Yeah,
so then this one picked up.
Max prevented Chloe's dad from dying, but the repercussions were
intense.
Chloe's paralyzed. So the episode 4 begins with you, heading down the beach boardwalk with Chloe. She's in her chair.
Yeah.
And you're walking alongside her, and you're talking about the car accident that caused her to become paralyzed. Her parents are taking care of her. She needs to be cared for around the clock, like have a nurse.
This whole segment was my favorite so far of the entire thing.
I was sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
the whole time I was with alternate reality Chloe.
Yeah, because it's cool because it's been this buildup of like changing the future, changing the past, like rewinding time, and this was like the biggest change possible, and just the conversations with her and how sad she was. Her dad was alive, yeah, but it was like at what cost?
Yeah, you see hints of the Chloe that we know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has flyers for punk shows on her desk, but she doesn't go to them.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the Life is Strange forums, and I saw some criticism from one user that has a friend that kind of has a similar condition as Chloe's.
Yeah.
But still kind of is a little bit more mobile with their life, still like goes to shows and colors their hair, and they were kind of upset by how Chloe was handled.
They're offended?
They were a little upset, but I mean, I can imagine if this just happened to Chloe, that's a big change in your life that you're.
And that's so unfair because I'm sure there are paralyzed people that are extremely depressed and extremely happy, and there are perfectly healthy people that are extremely depressed and extremely happy. It all depends.
Yeah.
I thought they handled it fine.
If to me it was just such an awakening to appreciate your own life. It's one. Sometimes you watch that movie or you read that book and you think, okay, this puts my life in perspective.
Yes.
Of I should be very grateful.
Absolutely.
And she was 16.
It was
and
painful.
It was really painful to do. And then at
So
one point.
So what were you thinking? Were you like, wow, this is worse than her dad being dead? I mean, there's no right answer. It was really like gnawing at my
I have
my
goosebumps
heart
right now thinking about it because
Yeah.
my thought was Chloe's dad.
They couldn't have been too happy. They were drowning in debt.
Chloe's dad, they were drowning in debt, but her dad, if he would say, I don't want to live if it means my daughter. I can only imagine her
He
dad's
would
such
sacrifice.
That's such a good guy. He would say, I don't want to be
he's
alive
jolly.
if this happens to my daughter.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That was my whole thinking behind it of going back and, okay, we're going to reverse this. But at one point, Chloe asks you to go get her morphine injector.
Yeah. Before we get there.
Oh, go on.
The bird in the house, really quickly, side note. Did you find the bird in the house that was like flying
No.
around?
Or maybe I saw something about it, but I didn't pay attention to it. Did you do something?
Yeah,
like
I was gonna ask you because you let the bird out of the house, but then you go in the garage and you see the nest with the eggs.
Oh, I saw the nest with the eggs.
But I was like, dude, I just let the mother or something out of the house. Who's gonna take care of these eggs? I felt bad.
No. I saw the eggs.
Yeah.
And I recovered the eggs because I thought I want these to be protected. Oh no.
So I don't know. I felt bad about those eggs.
I wish I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so then Chloe asks you to get the morphine drip for her.
Mm-hmm.
and you talk to her mom a little bit, and you see, you know, what this has done to her parents and her dad too, and you see her room. Her parents have converted the garage to a little room now for her, and you go back with the injector, and she asks you to euthanize her, and you didn't do it, right?
Did not do it.
Why?
Because you gotta have hope. You gotta just keep pushing on in life. It's like one foot in front of the other. You gotta just keep going. Like, you know, as down as she was, maybe they'll find a cure. Maybe you'll go back into that alternate dimension and find something or do something that will help her have a better life. I know they kept saying like, oh, she's dying, she's not doing well. But I don't know. I just didn't want her to give up, and didn't want to like take that away from her parents, like without them there. I don't know. I was really uncomfortable with it. So I was like, no. But you have to, it led me to believe though, you're gonna come back to that timeline.
Oh, you think so?
Because it was such a big decision, kill her or not.
Yeah.
And if it has to have some kind of impact, because everything in this game has been that way. So it's like, maybe, am I gonna come back here? I don't know.
I didn't do it, but just because I don't have any kind of like ethical stance on it, but I just didn't have the balls or the heart to watch her die.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to do it, and I felt it's not that sometimes I think that people, if you should respect their wishes.
Yeah.
But it was tough. Then you talk to Chloe's dad, and you kind of say goodbye for the last time, and then you turn it all back.
Yeah.
And we're back with Chloe, back in her house, but now we are at our previous timeline where Chloe's mom kicked David out, and he's packed up his stuff, and there's a moment where we go in the garage and we're like looking for David's evidence, which comes into play later, and we find some dirt. We find like pictures that he took of us, Max, and more pictures of Kate, and then we head to the dormitory courtyard. So nothing really big happened in the courtyard. Chloe met Mr. Jefferson.
Yes. Mr. Jefferson just been lurking around.
Yeah, lurking around.
Giving me the creeps all the time, you know, clearly.
They did a really good job of that interaction, and then the interaction with him at the dance later do a really good job of being like, why is this teacher always creeping around?
Always creeping around. Like, little too... Something's going on there.
Yes, quit creeping us out, Mr. Jefferson.
He's a little too slick.
Well, Chloe wants us to go into Nathan's room and look for like a burner phone or look for any evidence.
So before this, because Kate is dead in yours, I had some like hospital visit. So just Chloe and I went to go see her at the hospital because we were like, yo. Or also too, a couple episodes ago, Kate texted me, and I responded, and Chloe got really mad because I was ignoring her.
Yeah, I did that too.
Okay, but then she was like, yo, I'm sorry I got set off, like, Kate needs you, I'm glad you responded, so she apologized for that. Then we go in, and then Chloe, or Kate, you know, we're just having a good time, everything's fine. But then she was like, yeah, I'll give you Nathan's room number, like, I'll investigate so you can find the room number. Did that affect you at all? Were you, like, looking around for his room?
Not really. I mean, I just went into the dormitory and looked for
it.
I don't think at any point I had to have someone give it to me. I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, really cool that there was a scene where you talk to Kate.
Yeah,
because
it was
in your game, she is still alive.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's such a big difference.
Yeah, that's a huge difference to other adventure games.
Yeah.
But we get into Nathan's room, and he's a total creepball. He has like weird artsy nude prints, I guess. Disturbing stuff. But we find his burner cell phone.
Yeah, which awesome. Straight out of The Wire. He's been watching The Wire.
That becomes part of our evidence. Warren's been watching The Wire too, though.
Yeah.
Because
Warren comes out ready for a brawl.
Comes out swinging.
Yeah.
And delivers a massive beatdown.
Yeah.
Did you stop
the headbutt. The headbutt. Warren. Out of his mind.
I was like, yes. Like, Super Saiyan Warren. Did you stop him?
I stopped him. I was like, dude, you're going to kill this guy.
I let Warren beat the shit out of him.
Dude.
I was like, good for you, Warren.
Did you just keep like...
He ain't going to point a gun at me and my
Holy
girls.
Crap.
I let Warren, like, just
go
Hulk
for it.
out and
Awesome.
beat down Nathan, and I loved it.
Awesome.
But then after Warren's like, my hand hurts. Like, did
Warren's
you,
so innocent. I didn't want to see him go to the dark side. I was like, Warren, man,
I kind
gotta
of
keep it chill.
Warren. I feel like it's pushed around. He gets.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted. I mean, I wanted to see it
Yeah.
happen, but I just felt like Warren deserved to be like
He needed
proud of
vengeance.
himself. Yeah, he needed something, and then after that we had to see Frank, who's at his trailer by the beach. And how did you get out of the Frank situation? Because I was able to get out, get the evidence I needed, and not kill Frank or his dog.
Yeah, I rewound because
Okay.
after the shooting, and then I was just like fiddling around,
Okay.
kind of just like placating him, being chill.
Yeah.
I love how you really have to get into the conversations and feel it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just like pushing buttons or text on the screen. It's like genuine emotion. You have to feel the situation.
Interpreting someone's how they're going to react and emotions, and being able to instinctively choose.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the rewind mechanics so great.
Yeah. So I was just like, hey, you know, we gotta find Rachel. I
The
love dogs.
Frank interactions make me so uncomfortable because
He's so intense.
he's so intense. But it's clear that like he and Rachel Amber actually had a relationship.
Yeah.
And Chloe like super in love with and obsessed with Rachel. I don't know what their relationship was like, but it always makes me feel really bad for Chloe and really like uncomfortable and sad when Chloe's like, no, like, she didn't love you. But then like there's evidence.
All this evidence pointing towards.
Yeah, she kind of was in a relationship with this guy.
Gives you a gun. It's like, yo.
Oh yeah. Take
Find
this.
out.
Yeah.
Find her. You get uneasy alliance.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Frank, thanks. So we take our gun,
Yeah.
and then we go to like look through all this evidence, which I loved this part of the game.
This was awesome. I thought of you. I was like, oh, here we go.
Sherlock
At least we'll
Holmes.
have Sherlock Holmes up in here. Took me a while.
Yeah, that's the thing is it wasn't just like, okay, here's a board of evidence and we're seeing pretty obvious connections. You actually had to inspect each piece of evidence, build these connections, and then take the valid ones and build even deeper connections. And I thought that was so cool.
It was really cool. That was really well done.
Yeah, I don't really know that many other adventure games that actually challenge you that much.
Yeah, because there was so much of it.
Yeah, and then we deduce from the evidence that there's a really, really creepy barn. Owned by the Prescott family.
This is where it got all David Fincher on me.
Man, what did you think arriving at that barn?
First, I was like, all right, this is creepy. But then, you're searching around and then you find this like bomb shelter, Fincher-esque panic room, torture chamber down there.
Nathan's little like love nest with more weird erotic art.
And then I started thinking American Psycho because the couch is like covered in plastic.
There's a full like camera setup. And he's got a binder for every girl at Blackwell Academy.
Yeah.
And
some creepy stuff. The pictures were disturbing.
Yeah.
I was disturbed.
I thought that something was going to happen to us in that, like somebody was going to show up.
I want to get the hell out.
But then as we look through the binders, we see that there's one for Rachel Amber.
Yeah.
And this was kind of this was the next horrible thing that happens in this episode.
Victoria.
Well, there's one for Victoria.
Yeah, which is empty.
Empty, and you're like, God.
Yeah, what the hell?
Psycho. But then the Rachel Amber one has pictures of Rachel in a shallow grave.
Yeah.
And Chloe recognizes it as the junkyard, and you're like, oh my God. Because I feel like there's this feeling I've had the whole game of like,
you're going to find her.
We're going to find her.
Yeah.
But it's too real.
Yeah.
So then we head to the junkyard.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It got dark. Everything just got really intense.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Because then Chloe like finds the spot in the junkyard, and there's Rachel buried in the junkyard, and it's like, oh, she's actually dead.
I was shocked. The whole time I'm like, we're gonna find her. That's got to be the payoff, you know,
right?
The end of this whole thing. She's in another timeline, or she's actually hiding somewhere, doesn't want to be found. This whole time she's dead.
I was pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't suspecting that either. And actually, playing as Max, I felt kind of bad because I feel like Chloe's destroyed by this, but we're maybe not as supportive.
Not as invested.
We're not as invested in it. But Chloe's super upset, of course, and the Vortex party is that night, so we're gonna go in a irrational state of rage and hunt down Nathan.
Yeah.
And
So here's some more smaller choices. Like, you know, I'm sure you, in the very beginning, right? Episode 1, you can join the Vortex Club, right? Or like get your name on the list.
I didn't,
So
did
that,
you?
No, I didn't. So I had to like sneak in, but it was just a matter of like pushing a thing into the water and you rewind time and then you can go past it. But,
Yeah.
you know, I respect that there are those small decisions on top of the massive decisions that change the entire game.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that's super remarkable.
And then every time I run into that other teacher, because I didn't sign the petition,
Oh, yeah.
she still hounded me about that.
She won't drop it.
Let it go.
She won't drop that petition.
Seriously.
I didn't sign it either.
God.
Okay, but at the time, I didn't think that it'd be a big deal.
She will not let it go.
She's nagging. She's not at the party, but we run into like all the usual suspects, and we run into Victoria, who.
Yeah.
Victoria, were you able to convince her that
I convinced her.
I couldn't convince her.
What?
I didn't know how. I couldn't figure out the exact steps to convince her. And then eventually I was like, screw it.
Did you warn her?
I warned her.
But she didn't believe you.
She didn't believe me.
Whoa.
She believed you, though.
She believed
So
me.
what did she do once you...
What did you do with the paint? A couple episodes back.
So
Were you nice to her with the paint?
No, because I had two.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 playthroughs,
Yeah.
and I accidentally when I went after that when I continued playing after that episode, I accidentally chose the wrong playthrough.
Yeah.
So I had intended to be nice and good for everything, but I chose the one where I had mocked her about the paint.
Yeah.
So the paint has always come back to haunt me.
Okay, yeah. Because in this one, she was like, you know, you could have been mean to me about the paint, but you were really nice, so I get it. You know, you're not too bad.
Yeah.
And we were talking about just like pictures, and we're the same kind of person. So I was like, don't go there. She's like, all right, I trust you.
You know Victoria in a way that I just don't.
She's insecure.
She is.
That's what I told Kate actually in the hospital.
Oh, really?
We were talking about her. I was like, yeah, don't be hard on her. She's insecure.
I feel bad for Victoria because I kind of feel like she has created this persona that now she's got to keep up. But I mean, I guess you also shouldn't entirely feel bad for someone that's going to be mean-spirited toward other people like that.
Yeah.
So we're going around the party and we're trying to find Nathan, but we can't find him. But we do run into Mr. Jefferson, who is
Always creeping.
He's there to announce the winner for the Everyday Heroes photography contest, and he's creeping around.
Yep.
That's when they drop it on us.
Well, he says that Victoria's the winner or whatever.
Yeah.
But then Chloe and Max want to go find Nathan, so they go back to the scene of the crime because he's not there. They're looking. He's not at the party. They go back. You're looking around in the creepy, foggy woods. Out of nowhere, needle to the back of the neck, straight out of like Michael Clayton or something.
Systematic.
Yeah.
Precise
Yeah.
execution.
Surgical. So creepy.
Oh, man.
And then she goes down silently, too late. Chloe turns around, couldn't warn her in time. Shot in the head.
Nathan Red Herring, Mr. Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson revealed.
But do you think that they're working together? Do you think that this is some sick thing that they're...
So it could be two things. They could be working together, or he is manipulating Nathan because they've been hyping up that Nathan is on all these meds. He's freaking out. He's got major issues. So Mr. Jefferson could just totally be manipulating him and controlling him.
That's true.
And then the preview for the next episode, we just see latex gloves pulling some liquid into a syringe with Max saying, please don't.
And
she's
back in the dark room, right?
Jeez.
Oh man, yeah, this series is just...
It got really intense.
Went for broke, and I love it.
Yeah. I saw 7% of players did not warn Victoria. I thought that was pretty...
Maybe it's just we couldn't, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
well, there was 3. There was You warned her and she believes you. You warn her, she doesn't believe you, and then you did not warn her.
Oh,
7% of people were just like, screw you.
Yeah, I always like to see the really moral
Yeah.
ones, where somebody was just like, I'm gonna be a complete dirtbag.
Yeah.
Um,
So what do you think? Predictions? How's it gonna wrap?
I mean, at this point, I think that we could see a very unexpected savior,
Nathan
like
Prescott.
Nathan Prescott,
Redemption.
redemption, or Frank, or Victoria. We could see like a really unexpected person step in and because maybe if you warn Victoria about it, she'll head to the dark room. I don't know, but I think that there will be a main character that we love that will die. There will be some kind of like irreversible change, and so
Like
good.
Warren or something.
Oh,
That would hurt.
no.
And then remember, Kate is alive in my game, so she could show up in some capacity.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. Life is strange.
I'm putting my money on Nathan Prescott redemption.
We'll see. He could
Yeah.
just turn out to be a total scumbag
Yeah,
still.
he's part of it. He's the ringleader.